Meritt, and I'm Lindsey. We're Meritt and Lindsey Blevins here in Smiths Grove, Kentucky. Our farm is Elk Spring Farms, and his family and him bought this farm about 8 years ago, and we run about 400 head on 660 acres.
The genetics of our cow herd are mainly F1 Brahma cattle, Brayfords, and Charbreys generally. We also still have some Continental breeds. Our bulls, we usually have Charolais or Red Angus bulls. Sometimes we use some Black Angus. I really like Charolais genetics because of the growth. Pounds is what pays. Our conception rates generally are better with cattle with ear. Also, the heat tolerance during the summer, which is when most of your breeding for spring calving cattle is. That's a benefit. Also, hybrid vigor and just overall growth. Well, we start calving, some groups may start calving in February, and we'll calve on into February, March, April, and we'll pretty well finish up the end of April. And then we'll start weaning towards the end of October, 1st of November. Depending on the size of the cattle, when weaned, they're either just fed for 45 days and preconditioned on a creep feeder. But prior to weaning, about 30 days before, we'll pull creep feeders into the field to get them used to eating grain, and it's not such a challenge to get them to take off. When we wean our calves, we generally, when we get them up, we'll start gathering cattle at 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll get them in the barn, we'll sort the calves off of the cows, and within 3 hours they'll be back out in the field on their own with feed in front of them. And that helps a lot with the health. But as far as vaccinations go, we use Bovishield Gold, Enforce 3, we give them blackleg, and we will implant them. Our forage program, starting in April, we will start rotational grazing. We have probably 7 different fields for each group of cows. For instance, one side over here we have 200 head of mama cows in there. We have 7 pastures to rotate them in and out of, and I think that rotational grazing is very key to what we do. Also, we will interseed. Occasionally we've interseeded Sudan grass, sorghum Sudan grass, to give some more warm season grasses. And then we will, wrapping up into the fall, we'll start to stockpile some fescue. We have tried interseeding some ryegrass or wheat, and it's okay. But I think it's fine if you're going to graze on cropland. You want to interseed that, but I think that stockpile fescue is a better route. Our hay, we usually we buy 50% of all of our hay, and then we put up 50%, the other half. This year we put up some oats off of a cover crop, off of some cropland, and then we came in and put millet in behind that, and then we cut some just regular grass hay. Our feeding program, on our cow end, it mainly, we're just unrolling hay every day, which I like for one main reason is because it improves herd health. You don't have them standing in mud. You're moving your cattle every day, and then you're preventing having to spread manure in the spring with a manure spreader, which takes more time and more money. We just take a chain harrow behind it and drag over our fields. And we had a few years ago, we were feeding our cows with the calves on them in the bunks. And the only thing that I have against that is calf health. When newborn calves go up around a trough with a lot of manure, and that's just part of winter, and a lot of just mud. Our doctoring rates were significantly higher when we're feeding around troughs. So we try to keep our cows in fresh area every day. The fence line weaning has really, it has helped us tremendously. we used to wean our calves with just their mothers not being present. And it was a lot longer process. The cattle, if you've got a long stretch of fence where you can let the cattle walk back and forth, it really, it helps them quite a bit.
Well, Meritt and I grow strawberries together, and when I'm not doing that, and also my family grain farms, and when I'm not helping them with harvest, I guess my row is more of a supportive row for him and his father. Just whenever they need an extra hand to help load cattle or sort cattle, I absolutely love doing that, and bringing a meal to their roundup or just whatever they need. Meritt and I are on the Warren County Cattlemen's Board, and we enjoy going to that once a month, and I also help with the social media of Warren County Cattlemen's as well.
Market challenges. The way that we look at it is that there's not much profit in the cattle business, and any dollar that you can make goes a long ways. So weaning your cattle and backgrounding, preconditioning, whatever you want to call it, you're adding value to your herd, because the man that's going to buy them from you, he's not doing it for free. He's making money. So I think that in order to stay in the cattle business and for younger people to get into it, and you have to be more profitable. And by backgrounding cattle, it makes money. Once we get our calves to our target weight, we will contact multiple buyers, and we'll have them come out here and look at them if they want to see them, and we'll take bids. And then we have scales here on our place with a processing facility, and we'll sort cattle and start loading them on pot loads. Also, when marketing our cattle, when we're taking bids, we like to have a two-way slide, which is if the cattle come in, say we base them at 750 pounds, they come in at 775, so we got an 8-cent slide, they're going to slide downward on those 25 pounds. And then the two-way, that works both ways, so if they come in lighter than what you based them at, you're gaining cents. And that's the way we like to do it. I think it's the fairest way to do it. We generally take a 2% shrink on cattle that are fed here and then loaded. If we're moving them from one place here and then loading them out, there'll be no shrink, just because of the transporting them, then extra sorting and loading. The majority of our cattle are home raised, but we started last year buying some 3-weight calves out of the sale barns and off of individuals. We purchased those, and a friend of mine backgrounds those for me. We get them preconditioned, and then we graze some, and then we'll sell some loads of 5-weight calves to go on grass. We'll start putting those cattle in January, February, and try to get them ready for grass time.